Namaste, Hari Om, good evening. How are you all? We are here again. As I told you, every Tuesday we come here with a different celebrity personality over here. Today also we have a very special guest over here from Indonesia. We have Simran will be joining us very soon. Yes, Simran ji, join us. Miss India 2013. She's on a show. She said she will be joining us very soon. So as soon as she come, I'll bring her on a screen. Okay. In meantime, I'd like to welcome Neena ji on screen. Neena ji, namaste, welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your program.
Thank you very much. I'm really delighted. Our Paramarat and Adhyatmic channel and Sindhi Wood channel like to welcome you. And I'd like to ask you a few questions before we go further. It's not that I ask you, but I want you to introduce yourself to the viewers. And before we come, Simran is on she's just joining in. She just popped in, and let me welcome her also. Simran, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Such a pleasure and such a great honor to be here. Papi Thakur sir, but I can't see your picture.
You cannot see me my picture? I'm still, I'm very much clear on the screen.
So maybe I just rushed, back from my.
I know.
Okay, my other studio.
Our guest is from Indonesia, Nina Hathiramani. Yes.
Such a pleasure at first. Hari Om, and it's such a divine feeling to be here. And you look so steady. That looking at you, I feel I'm completely in that relaxed state. It is so beautiful and such a great honor for all of us to have you here. You belong to a place which is, again, very warm, where people give a lot of love. And again, I think people from Indonesia themselves, even the Indonesians, are very warm, hospitable, and spiritual by nature. It is such a pleasure to have you here with us on the show. Apni Thakur sir, thank you for spreading the word of love. We are just in the Valentine's week. And as we all know, it is love which is of utmost essence. So excited to hear from you.
See, this Valentine is this is from Western country, right? Actually, we started our Basant Panchami, which is in same. We don't have a one day. We have full month. Basant Panchami. We celebrate whole. It is also what you call a month of love.
Beautiful.
We don't celebrate one. It's a whole month. We celebrate. They have red color. We have an orange color. Basanti Rang. Rang di Basanti Chola. So this is what actually we go in older texts. So we've been celebrating since beginning. No, Lord Shiva, Kamdeva. What he did actually, Kamdeva, he when he was in the meditation, Shiva was in meditation, they want come and they want he should come out of the meditation and take care of the whole world. So he threw the barn made of sugar cane and the flowers.
Beautiful.
So
I didn't
actually,
like
if we
your
go
backdrop
detailing
today,
in this one,
Papnita.
if we go in detail, yeah, it's a fantastic our literature, our heritage, or whatever our books. That's why I call every Tuesday with a different speaker. We listen to their point of view from various this one our Sanatan Dharma. So today we have a guest speaker from Indonesia. She will be talking on Bhagwat Geeta. So it's a wonderful subject, and very hardly people are actually practicing this one. So we need speakers like her
Sure.
to
Papi Thakur
speak it.
sir, before we begin, I would just like to request you because
Mhm.
I've just been gifted the Bhagwat Gita last week, which is in
Oh.
English. And
Mhm.
when they gave it to me, I just did the show with our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji's brother, Prahlad Modi ji. And that's where I was gifted the book when I came to India last week. And they said, just read this and your life will be a miracle. But don't read it once, understand it. So I also want to know from you that if a beginner like me wants to know how to really gain the most out of the Bhagavad Gita, how do we go step by step? Thank you so much.
Yeah, I am going to talk first. What is the book all about? And then I will go what the Gita promises us, what it does, it gives us, and it also helps us to be the great devotee of the Lord. Anybody, it doesn't matter. So we need to go step by step. And after the whole thing, then you will understand where you should start. And see, Bhagwat Gita has to be honored, has to be respected, but it also has to be learned and live. So we call it learn Gita, live Gita. So it is not something just to be chanted. It is to be understood, because we often come in the crossroad of life where we have to make choices. And sometimes the choices that we make may not be the right one because our knowledge about life is very minimal. The Bhagavad Gita expands our vision, our heart, our purpose, and our goals in life. So Simran, I wish I can tell you in a short way, but we need to go step by step.
Yes, Ninaji, I would like to know your spiritual journey. How, since you're born in Indonesia and you moved to Philippines, then to Australia, again to Indonesia, I think you should share with the viewers your spiritual journey, how you got into this one.
Actually, I love going to satsang since I was 13, but I never absorbed anything. But because I'm a devout Hindu, I just love when people say, don't do this, do this, do this, and I follow. Up to the last word, I follow. Until today, I practice all the teachings of the Sanatana Dharma.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to Manila, I got married there at the age of 21. And I used to miss going to satsang. So we used to have a small satsang in my house. And then we had started the science center there, and I started teaching Balikas. But then it was not a success because we had very little devotees, science devotee. Then what happened was I came across Swami Chenmayananda. I used to love to attend his lecture, but I tell you, I knew nothing. I just knew nothing. But he found me. Like they say, when you are ready, the Guru finds you. So he found me and he gave me the opportunity of doing the children's classes. I was totally taken aback that moment. I don't know anything. How do you expect me to teach? But then, because of his faith in me, I never turned down the offer. I felt the Guru saw something in me that I could not see. So I pursued the path and I started learning. That made me a better Hindu, knowing the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, the Bhagwat Geeta, Vedanta. And I was told to teach the ladies slowly, slowly. I even run the mission. I'm not the head, I was the secretary. And for 27 years, time passed. There was a time I had to move to Australia, to Melbourne. And I was just there for a couple of years. But I used to go to the center and I used to help them in any way I can. And to make my circle complete, I had to come back to where I was born, and Indonesia. So I came back here, and after a year or so, the Swamini told me, I think it's time you take up the class. And it was also my sister-in-law who is in the mission, Chinmay mission. She said, you can take the class. And she inspired me, and Swamini inspired me, and we took the Bhagwat Geeta on Monday. And now I take Viveka Chudamani, which is Adi Shankara's complete text. And on Mondays and Saturdays, I teach them. And I'm just sharing. But for me, you can't get wet. You can't help but get wet when you're showering people with water. When I'm sharing that knowledge, I'm easily absorbing it even more than what I was absorbing 20 years back. So this is my journey, and here I am at your service now.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful, excellent. No? So I think the other people should be inspired by you or your story and this thing. No? So this is a just brief. Okay, now since our topic is on Bhagwat Gita, on your topic, it's a fantastic topic, 3D plan of action. This I'm going to talk to you later. So now, first thing, we talk about Gita. What is a Bhagwat Gita in your point of view, and what you learn?
Can I start with a short invocation of Krishna?
Yes.
Vasudevasutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. My humble pranam to one and all. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I always say this is a golden opportunity to spread the knowledge that we have come with, rich cultural heritage. In all the world religion, having a particular scripture is necessary because that scriptures inspire the disciple. We, the Hindus, We are born with this rich cultural heritage. And this religion is time tested. It is eternal. It is the oldest religion. And for us, there is not only one book, there are several books.
Mhm.
We have each book for different temperamental. We have the Vedas for the scholars. We have the Upanishads for the great thinkers. We have the Puranas for those who love stories, value-based stories. Then we have the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, which is a story of a common man trying to live their righteous way of living to reach the purpose of life.
Mhm.
Bhagwat Geeta is in the middle of the Mahabharata. Why is it in the middle of the Mahabharata? Often people ask, it's not suitable where the war is there, killing is being done. How is it the Bhagwat Geeta, such a precious book of the knowledge of Bhagwat Geeta, why is it given in the middle? We all should understand it is not the external war that we are facing every day. We are facing the internal war, the thing that is going in our personality, the fight between the good and the bad, the right and the wrong. So, if this is understood, then Gita is not only a book to be praised, to be covered with beautiful brocades, to just bow down every morning. Gita has to be lived. Learn the Gita, live the Gita. This knowledge has to be assimilated to become our wisdom, to continue our life, which is, it's very complicated. Life is very complicated. But when we know how to live in a very simple way, then Bhagavad Gita becomes our savior. Bhagavad Gita comprised of 700 verses, 18 chapters. I salute the Ved Vyasji who compiled this thing. He did it with so much diligence that he separated each topic. The Bhagavad Gita has the essence of the Upanishads. The Upanishads always teaches us Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. What are we? What is that? So it is divided. 18 chapter, the first 6 chapter is to show us Tvam, what are we? What is our purpose in life? What is the equipment that we have come with in this world? What is the actions that we need to take? Once we understand this part of the Bhagavad Gita, then the next 6 verses, we are ready for meditation. To know what is that. And so the next 6 verses, 6 chapters is based on Jnana Yoga. The first 6 was on Karma Yoga, then is Jnana Yoga.
Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga.
Yeah, and then the last 6 is Asi, the connection between Tat and Tvam. And that is based on Bhakti Yoga. These are the 3 parts that the Gita really talks about. And to each one of us, you are free to choose what pleases you and start your journey.
Fantastic.
Start your journey.
Who is to qualify this knowledge of Gita?
See, like Arjuna, we all know Arjuna in the first chapter was feeling so dejected when he was brought by Krishna in his chariot in the middle of the battlefield. When first he went with so much courage, he went with so much courage, but the time the chariot reached the middle, started feeling shaky. How can I kill Bhishma Pitama, my cousin, my guru Dronacharya? He got so shaken and he told Krishna, I cannot do this. I will not do this. Krishna was quietly listening. He said, because when a person is so agitated, whatever you tell them, they will not listen. So Krishna was quiet and listening. He felt so despondent, and we call it the pity me syndrome of Arjuna. That's what my Guruji always say. The pity me syndrome of Arjuna, which can happen to any of us. And then he says, please, I rather go and take sannyas and stay in the forest, but I will not want to fight. So Krishna said, okay, no problem. He was just quiet. When he told Krishna, he fell on his feet and he told Krishna, I am your Shishya. I don't know anything. Please help me. Please help me. When we become a Shishya, a disciple, and we know sadhyam, the goal of life, the purpose of life, then we are ready to be instructed by our Guru. We become a sadhaka. When we are ready to be disciplined, to be corrected by our Guru, then we even follow the instructions of the scriptures. Then sadhana, spiritual practices is prescribed so that our mind and our intellect are integrated. Because when you have problems in life, you become a disintegrated personality. The mind says something, intellect knows something. So through spiritual practices, sadhana, we gain this integration of personality. The mind and intellect becomes one. And then we become a fulfilled person, a siddha.
Okay.
This is something to be remembered, Simran.
Simran, you have any question on this?
Oh my God, I'm completely, of course, the kind of knowledge that you have is something that we all seek, to gain. But it is the way you've been narrating. I can actually visualize. I even visualize, how Krishna would be, and when he was in the chariot, the way you're saying Arjun, he was in this dilemma. It is so beautiful. I think I'm just going with the flow, and I'm loving it. And I'm loving it, Papiji. And thank you so much. This is a miracle altogether. Please.
Meenaji, continue. Yes, it is a very interesting topic. I think. Go ahead.
So, Bhagwat Geeta is not only a Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra in the sense is Bhagwat Geeta, sometimes people feel, all our scriptures are telling us, give up this, give up this, give up attachment, give up enjoyment, give up this, give up that. He says no. Bhagwat Geeta is a Dharma Shastra. It really guides you to some do's and don'ts if you want to gain the goal of life.
It's also called the Moksha Shastra, right?
Bhagwat Geeta is also Moksha Shastra. It is a guidance to our own true self, to gain the reality, or let me put in a very simple way, to gain Bhagwan, there is a certain do's and don'ts we have to follow. There is a certain qualification, like I said. At times when we take the scriptures, we may think that it's so difficult. It's so difficult. But we human being, as a common person, we rather give up the scriptures than to give up that pre-notion that scriptures are difficult. But everything in life is difficult. Try to live life with no sorrow. Try to live life with no stress and agitations. It's impossible. So, of course, if it's the first time, if we are reading the Bhagwat Geeta, it is true, it's going to be very, very difficult. But once you get the hang of it, and actually, since the COVID time, we are very lucky. If you go to YouTube, there's a lot of masters talking about Bhagwat Geeta. So it's not hard. It is just human mind that you want to give up. You want to give up, You just don't want to try to understand it. Before it was in Sanskrit. Then it came out in Hindi. But today we cannot say Bhagwat Gita is difficult because it is in English.
I have
We
Bhagwat
are just
Geeta in
finding
Sindhi.
reasons. Huh?
I have Bhagwat Gita in Sindhi. When I came from India,
Yeah,
I brought Bhagwat Gita in
they
Sindhi.
have in all the language.
Ji.
They have in all the language. So this is what it is. It is, and I tell you something. Bhagwat Gita may not solve our problem. Bhagwat Gita may not give us name and fame. Bhagwat Gita will free you from your limitations.
Okay.
From the bondage of life, which we don't feel that we are bound today. We don't feel we are bound. Really, we don't feel we are bound. But I'm telling you, we are all bound. Bound by these limitations. Bound by our likes and dislikes. Bound by our fear. Bound by our emotions. Bound by our delusion. So, Papniji, I know you wanted to ask, so what is the result if we read Bhagwat Gita every time? Right?
Yeah, I really want to know, yes.
Bhagwat Gita really removes our bondage, our sorrow, not our post-death. While living, Bhagwat Gita really removes our sorrow. It removes our dukkha. It removes our bhaya. It removes our moha. Sorrow, griefs and regrets from the past that we can't let go. Our experiences in the past still haunts us. So we can't let go. This is bondage. Bhaya, fear and anxiety for the future. We are, before even the future can come, future is so uncertain. With COVID being there, the future is so uncertain. But our mind, we are already creating that fear that is binding us. And moha, delusion and confusion present. When we are bound by this, how can we be free? Bhagwat Geeta says you only have the present moment. Nothing else is certain. The past is long gone and dead. The future is not sure. So all we have is the present. Am I boring? Am I getting you bored?
No.
Not at all. It's so interesting. Oh my God. I think my life is going to change from today with a kind of, aura that you're giving to the entire world to this beautiful show. So please, let's move ahead.
Yeah, let me tell you, Ninaji, Simranji, I tell you, I read Bhagwat Gita. In the beginning, means I just read it. It just gone bouncer, okay, then I took a Hindi version. I understood a little bit. Then I took Sindhi version. It is my mother tongue. I studied Sindhi, so it just changed my life. I became a contained person. Before I used to be, I want this, I want that, I want to do this, I want to do that. But after reading Bhagwat Gita, the life changed. It changes. I become a more, what you call, control person. More devotion just came in within me. Start helping people, start doing all good things in my life. I said, okay, zindagi mein abhi jo jeena hai, abhi karo. And I don't know. I don't think about tomorrow kya hone wala, what is going to happen tomorrow. So better do it today.
True.
Yes, Heenaji, yes. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Bhagwat Gita starts with the word Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Dharma, and it ends with Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. So Bhagwat Gita teaches us Mama Dharma. Dharma in the Hindu philosophy has a lot of version of the meaning. They are about 60 plus, if I'm not mistaken. But we should understand Dharma is righteousness. In common man language, Dharma is our duty. Dharma is our essence. People don't understand our essence. Our essence is happiness. Happiness. That's why everybody in the world is running after happiness. But the problem is they look for happiness outside.
I can say just let me correct you. They are looking for pleasure. Pleasure and happiness is totally different.
Right.
Pleasure is temporary, yeah.
Pleasure also is to feel that happiness, no? Because when your desire is fulfilled, and that moment when your mind is quiet, you feel you're happy. Mama Dharma. Bhagwat Gita teaches us Mama Dharma. What is my Dharma? What is the right way of living? What is my duty? All of us have been assigned a certain duty by our karma, by our destiny, our prarabdha. We have a certain ordain of duties. When we live righteously, when we do our duties, our dharma, with no likes and dislikes, we will discover our true self, which is our essence, which is Anandam. This Bhagavad Gita teaches. I told you step by step. People want crash course in Bhagwat Geeta, instant liberation, but they are not willing to give up anything. We need to empty our cup for the knowledge to be filled in. All of us have pre-notion, beliefs and concepts before we take the scriptures in our hand. That it is easy, God will fulfill all my wish, I will become rich. Oh no, the moment you start taking the scriptures in your hand, like a goldsmith, a lump of gold has to be put in the fire and then knocked from all sides to be made into an amazing piece of jewelry. We can't just be perfect human being we need to go through a lot of experiences, but we should not think, God, why me? Why me? Those experiences is for us to grow and benefit. It is not to punish us. Please, God doesn't punish us for anything. He really doesn't punish us for anything.
I just want to tell you on this one. Education is not given, it's taken. It is taken. Like the moment I want to learn something, I open all the channels, all the senses, and I take it. It's just like a parachute. Parachute means nobody knows it works or not, but it works when it opens. When it opens means you have to jump. Then only, yeah. So it's education
It's
also.
a choice.
Yeah, but education also. I mean, to learn something is educate yourself. Many people, they just forget that. Okay, जो देखा वो करते हैं, they copycat. They should understand. Like today, what essence you are giving, what you are sharing. You are sharing the nectar of Bhagwat Geeta. Those who are listening definitely will gain something. So it's good.
Knowledge is always to be spread. The more we give, the more we get. Knowledge is not to be kept only on those books. The more you discuss it, the more you gain. This is what knowledge is. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, now let's go a little further on Bhagwat Geeta. Now earlier you said about 18 chapters.
Yes.
If we talk 18 chapters, I think time is not there. Can you just, in one-liners or something, main thing you talk on that?
See, I cannot go chapter by chapter, but like I told you, the first 6 chapter is to understand this equipment which Bhagwan has given us. Who are we? Why do we act? How should we act? What are the sacrifices one need to make to attain this purity of mind? And how can somebody, there are some actions you need to do, there are some actions you should avoid doing. So the first 6 chapter is that. The next 6 chapter is about meditation, because once your mind is purified, you are now a fit student to sit in the seat of meditation. Chapter 6, they clearly give you some points that you need to sit straight, you need to think about this, give up objects, try to absorb in the self. Chapter 8 is, you are meditating to whom? What are you meditating on? So the glory of Bhagwan is given. Chapter 9 is the secret, the royal secret. Bhagwan is saying, I am in you. When we are in Bhagwan, when we are in this world, He is the creator. Why do we worry? Why do we worry? God doesn't want extraordinary things because He Himself is an extraordinary being. All He wants is our pure heart. Because even in chapter 9, they say, Phalam, Toyam, when you give fruits and you give water and you give flowers to Bhagwan, those things are mine, Bhagwan says. I want your heart. And then Arjuna was not happy. Arjuna was not happy at all. He says, I want to see your Vishwarupa, your Vibhuti. I want to see what you have created. And Krishna showed him his Vibhuti. Still he was not happy. He says, no, I want to see you. How magnificent and gigantic are you to be running this world? Then he says, okay, see me in my Vishwarupa darshan. Then he got scared. Please, Bhagwan, you go back to your ordinary form and I will just be devoted to you. In every chapter of the Gita, it starts with Arjuna asking a question. In chapter 12, he asks Bhagwan, Bhagwan, okay, now I want to be worshipping you. What should I worship you as? In the idol form or in the ideal? Idol is Saguna Brahman and ideal is the Nirguna Brahman. So Bhagwan says, for now you should start the journey by worshipping the ideal. Once your mind is quiet, you can start feeling and know my ideal behind the idol. And bring your mind to Bhakti Yoga. Chapter 12 is of Bhakti Yoga. Then 13 is Kshetrajna. What is the seer and the seen? It gets little high. Chapter 14 is about the gunas. That if it is you're saying it's that easy, then why is it that people can't seem to follow your path? He says the gunas. Because each one of us have preponderance of the gunas. Which one is highest? Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. In chapter 15, which is the highest secret which was given there, the whole essence of the Upanishad is found in chapter 15 when he says, Urdhva Moolam Adha Shakham. He is comparing our sansar to that of a tree, a banyan tree, where the roots are going up and the branches are below. We are all nourished. We are all nourished by him. Then chapter 16, the Devic and Asuric Sampatti. There are two kinds of people, devilish and the angelic. And then 17, Shraddha. What kind of faith do we have? Does our faith also fall on the realm of the gunas? Yes. Some people have faith in God because they feel God is going to fulfill their wishes. He says, make your work, make your faith to be sattvic. Make your faith to be sattvic and you can reach me. And chapter 18 is the whole Gita in one chapter, 78 verses, where he talks about everything. Again, Arjuna asks him, because moksha is our goal in life, liberation. How do you get this liberation? By sannyas, by renunciating your ego, The renunciation of ego and individuality is a criteria to be liberated from this world. And how he is bringing it down to tyaga, sacrifice. Then he's talking about the 7 aspects of our personality, and then it goes on and on and on and on. And last, after talking 700 verses, you know what Krishna told Arjuna? This is really, really shocking. He says, Arjuna, I have given you all this knowledge, but I am giving you the liberty to follow or not to follow. Of course, Arjuna says, I will follow you. And where Arjuna meets Krishna, prosperity and success will always be there. That is what the last verse of the Bhagwat Geeta indicates to us.
Fantastic. The way you explained all the 18th chapter in one-liners. Fantastic. I think this is we should have a longer session, more session on this one. It's getting interesting. I see Simran's first. She said, "I will come only for a few minutes," and now I see she's enjoying this one. Yeah,
I'm not enjoying it. I'm trying to grasp because it's in such easy words that you explain to us that it's just sinking in. Of course, by God's grace, but it's just sinking in. And I don't think there could be anything more easier explained about the Bhagwat Gita. And I think it's incredible. It feels amazing. Life in a nutshell. And you spoke it so well, all the 18 chapters. I think it's going to be really amazing. I'm truly excited to start with my Bhagwat Gita and reading it and actually feeling it. So when I opened the first page, I said, no, it's a little tough. So I closed the book and I said, okay, let me get some guidance on how to start it. And this is how, I'm so lucky to be here and, getting the feel of it. And I'm truly excited now to open the book and to start reading it and to understanding it.
We're going to start again, Bhagwat Gita. We reread. If you have any difficulties or you don't understand, you know who to contact. Neenaji is there. So we contact there.
I'm always here.
I just want to tell viewers also, Simran is coming to Bangkok very soon. I think.
Right.
I don't want to say dates.
Yes.
But okay,
I'm there on the 24th in Thailand, yes.
Yes. Yeah, so viewers in Thailand definitely going to meet Simranji in Bangkok. Good. Okay, we have Dr. Mohan from Chile. He was in the backstage, but now I brought him on a screen also. Very good. Neenaji, now.
Thank you, Babni sir.
The main topic is there. Dr. Mohanji, I'll talk to you a little later. No? We have still final this one. 3D plan of actions. This is a very interesting topic.
This is the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
The 3D plan of action is dedication, devotion, and discrimination. All our actions, when we dedicate it to Bhagwan, it doesn't bound, because actions bring about reactions. If action is done for profit or for self-satisfaction or for a desire fulfillment thing, that action binds. But when that action is done, dedicating it to the higher altar in life, then it alters our life. I would like to repeat that. When we dedicate our karma to the higher altar in life, we alter our life. And that dedication will bring us to a higher reality. The second 3D plan is devotion. We should all be devoted to Bhagwan. If we don't know Bhagwan at this time, Bhagwan seems to be somebody up there who's just punishing people and giving the rich more riches and the poor more challenges. No. Then we can devote those dedicated actions to our Guru for a higher cause, for the betterment of society. This thing can always come. Our life is not only for us. All of us are connected somewhere, somehow. So devotion for a higher cause and higher reality. How can we do that? Through discrimination. Understanding what is real and unreal. What is permanent and impermanent. All of us are trying to fulfill our desire this life, and then when desires are not fulfilled, we die. We take another body and we come, and with that same desire, how long more should we live like a common man with no clarity? All of us need to discriminate. When we go out from this world, what will we bring? We can't bring our riches. We can't even bring a dress back. But we can bring a purified mind and intellect and a sattvic vasanas. Because that goes with you when you die. Your body it perishes, it's cremated, it goes back to the 5 elements. But we have to now invest on something that we will be taking with us when we leave this world. So this discrimination of how we are leading our life should be very, very clear. The Gita helps us. The Gita helps us to understand this, because if not now, in our next life, we will also be given a situation, like I said earlier, where we reach the crossroad of life and we should make the right choice. Unless we have faith in Bhagwan, unless we feel that this life is so precious and not to waste our life on something that is not concrete, that we can't take with us. It's time we should roll our sleeve and get into this 3D action plan. Dedication, devotion, and discrimination.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
I hope it's easy to understand.
Yes, it is really understandable. Yes, earlier you were saying you must share. So I know that we call it Gyan Dan. We know when we share the Gyan, right? So we must share. In this Gita is written, Gyan Dan is also Bahumulya. We have a Gaudan. We give a body.
These are the 14 yajna described in chapter 4, that there are 12 yajna that a man while living should do. Deva yajna, Pitru yajna, Jnana yajna, everything we should give up. Good.
Everything
Thank you.
Didi, fantastic. Yes. Simranji? I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I want to know, the 3D especially, are they applicable in every situation of life? Do we need to analyze and think so much before it? Because one is when you really have a vision for yourself, be it the career front is what I'm going to talk right now. And one is you just, live with the flow. As, His Holiness Sadhguruji said that may your dreams never come true. So we would wonder why. He would say, because, you should really get beyond your dreams and you should receive that. So is it good when we're thinking, we need to think before doing our karmas, or we just need to have the presence of mind and just sink into it and flow into it?
See, awareness or alertness in life is the price to pay to walk in the path of spirituality. Because if I think, I don't know about others, but for me, I have lived my life unknowingly, I think. I just went with the wind.
Flow.
But no, that's not right. In fact, majority goes with the wind. We should dare to be divine. We should walk the other path alone. So this 3D plan is to be taught again and again. It is not difficult. Today, even if I am dedicating, like Simran, you have a lot of shows or whatever. If you dedicate your action for Bhagwan, whatever result you get, you won't feel bad, because when we do karma, our mind is always on the result of action. But when we give it to Bhagwan, like earlier before we all started, me and Papni was talking, and I said, it is his will that I am still here talking to you, and this is an opportunity. So I offer everything to Bhagwan. People like it, Bhagwan. They are also Bhagwan. People don't like it, they are also Bhagwan for me.
Shukran.
So, yeah. So we dedicate our actions for a higher cause, for the benefit of mankind. And then when we are devoted to Bhagwan, all karmas are also sanctified in that way. You can be an actor, you can be a moderator, you can be a teacher, but in everything, if we surrender to him, and we should just be the instrument in his hand, without focusing or paying attention, what is it for me? What am I going to get out of this? No, it's not like that. We should not wait for, it's not only to get. Life is always to give. So this discrimination is needed. It's needed. I hope I answered your question.
Beautiful. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we have a Dr. Mohan Soni from Chile, Santiago. Namaste.
Namaste to everyone. Thank you very much. Really,
I know you were listening from backstage. You were listening. So you have any question from?
No, really, I don't have any question, because I really trust Gita, what Lord Krishna says. And another thing, in chapter 6, in 30th, Lord Krishna said that if you see me in everyone, and if you see everyone in me, I'm not far from him, and he's not far from me. So when the person is giving up all the actions, result of the actions to God, then all the results of the God, all the results of the karma are not applicable to that person.
Yes.
He is free from result of all the karmas.
Fantastic, fantastic. Ninaji, I would like to last question. what is your message to youth? I know you are conducting this online classes and giving the classes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How we
I have a
attract
class.
youth and how we can give, what is your message for the youth?
I always say be proud of who you are. Be proud where you are born in. If we don't like the Hindu and then we start converting, we are trying to say, you don't know any better. What is for me? He knows. He is intelligence. He is all knowing. He knows. We are where we are supposed to be. Our karma is what we need to do to purify our mind. We have to be a proud Hindu. But the name Hindu doesn't just, it's not a name tag that you can wear. I am a Hindu and that's it. We have to live like one. We have to know our scriptures. Never mind those hard Vedas and Brahma Sutras and Upanishads that you need a guru to learn. But simple thing like Ramayana. Ram is portraying such a beautiful thing, how to be an obedient son, how to be a good husband, how to be a good king. His dharma, he is the embodiment of dharma. Married to whom? To Sita. To Sita. Peace. When dharma is married to peace, accompanied by Lakshman, who is dispassion, your life is fulfilled. So we can take up anything and use it. Can I end with the story?
Yeah,
Sure.
please go ahead. Yes.
I'm going to tell you a very easy, this is a very nice story. Do we have time, Papni?
Yes, yeah. Yes. No problem.
Okay,
Go
let's
ahead.
end with a story because
Yeah.
we human beings, we have a childlike nature in us that we will remember this story. You may not remember what I've said so far, but you'll remember this story. Long ago, there was an emperor. He was running the kingdom so beautifully, and he dedicated each actions for the benefit of his people. But he had no kids. So he was wondering, who should I choose to be the successor? So what he did was, he says, because I have no kids, he told the minister, I have to choose a successor and I want a successor from the people. So it's I'm not going to just, I am not just going to choose just randomly. But they have to do what I asked them to do. So the minister said, okay, let me collect all the people. So he collected all the people and the emperor spoke to the people and he said, I am looking for a successor, but I don't know who among you will be eligible to be my successor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a carnival and I am going to be there, but I will not be wearing my robe. Whoever finds me in that carnival will be the successor. So everybody's saying, oh my God, that's so easy. Of course we're going to find him. It's so easy. So he built a beautiful carnival. And for 3 days, he said, only in 3 days, I have to find my successor. He built a beautiful carnival. And people were strolling inside there from different villages. People were coming and they were enjoying. They knew their job was to find the king. One day passed, nobody could find the king. Second day passed, nobody could find the king. Third day, the king was so disheartened. He said, "You see these people? I made the carnival to choose a successor, and people here are so enchanted by this, by the glimmering and the glamorous rides and this joy ride, that they have forgotten why they are here." But there was one wise man. Although he was enjoying the joyful ride of the carnival, but he knew he had to find the king. Sunset. Finally, he said, "Impossible if the king is not there. I know the king is here." So beside the carnival, there was a temple. And the king was just facing the idol, so his back was seen. And the wise man went there and he says, "Who are you? I have not seen you." He paused for some time and he said, "Oh, my king, you are my king." And he was crowned the successor of the king. Bhagwan has made this beautiful world. Our dharma is to find Bhagwan, know him, reach him. But we get so amazed by the glamour of the world that we have forgotten how precious is our life. What is the purpose of our life? We have forgotten, because we are joyfully riding in samsara and doing our work, my family, my house. Everybody is so caught up in just enjoying that we have forgotten why we have come here, is to look for that kingship which is in our heart.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Fantastic. Yeah, good. Yes, now we have covered almost an hour and something. We would like to hear more. But, no. You are perfectly in timing. This is 1 hour, 10 minutes like this. We go ahead. You covered almost everything. Yes, like to say thank you that you came and you shared your knowledge, your point of views. They were fantastic, and I'm really happy to see Simran start to end. She's with me. I love you.
Thank you,
I'm feeling
Simran.
amazing. I'm feeling amazing.
And Dr. Mohan, as usually, he comes and bless. I feel blessed. Whenever he comes to the show, he's always there.
Thank you, Dr.
Sometimes
Mohan.
he's busy.
Thank you very much. And I think I'm blessed to see you, all of you here, and listen to you.
Same here, Mohan Manisa. Same
Thank you.
here.
And one thing I know, to my opinion, that there is no great knowledge more than our Gita's knowledge.
True.
That's the greatest
Yeah.
knowledge we have. Only thing we have to read, study, and dedicate and follow those points, whatever Lord Krishna said. We have to
Learn
understand.
Gita, live
Mhm.
Gita.
Yeah.
Learn Gita and live Gita. Yes. जैसा बोलते हैं ना, गुरु को मानो और गुरु की मानो. Many people they say हम गुरु को मानते हैं, लेकिन गुरु की नहीं मानते हैं. तो गुरु बोलता है गुरु को मानो, गुरु की मानो.
You must have completely total faith in God and in Gita.
That's right. Yeah.
And instruction of the Gita.
Anyway, thank you very much. With this one, we end this show and see you next Tuesday.